Hey guys, in this video, you're gonna see an interview, third-party interview with Michael Long with OMG Machines and Bryan Dulaney, our partner with Cashflow Tactics. And Ryan's gonna be talking about how we helped him go from zero when he launched his business, Cashflow Tactics, to over $10 million in less than 7 months. So enjoy.
All right, well, do you get it? Is it getting recorded?
Yep, recording right now.
All right, awesome. So this is Mike Long. I'm here. I'm beachside, and I am really excited. I've been chomping at the bit for this all week. We're here with Ryan Lee, and he is, I'm going to speed my way through this story, but I was telling Ryan how it all happened. I was going to, we were already getting ready for this incredible golden ticket event. With Bryan, when couldn't be more excited about it. But then for a totally different reason, I was going to the 10X event that's right down the street here in Miami. A friend got me a VIP ticket, and I went to go and see Myron because Myron's an OMGer, and I'm partners with him on some projects, and so I went to go see Myron. And so Myron was speaking from the stage at where the Marlins play. It's a huge baseball stadium, 30,000 people. And as I come in, Ryan's partner is actually is just about to take the stage. Is just taking the stage. His name is Bradley, and it just tells the craziest, most awesome, inspiring story. So he's up there on stage with Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels, and he says, they're just smart guys. He says, my partners are smart guys. I'm a smart guy, and we were doing this business, but it was really getting hard. And it was, we're making money, but it was really a grind. And sometimes we even wondered if it was worth it. I think I remembered him saying. And then, they joined forces, and we're going to, get the story behind this, but they joined forces with Bryan, and and don't get me wrong, the result is extraordinary. I don't want to spoil it, but blood, sweat, and tears went into it. But I think that you're really going to enjoy this event, and I think you're going to enjoy meeting Ryan here today. It's an honor for me. So I even actually met Bradley as he came off the stage. Or not long after he came off the stage, we were crossing into the VIP area, and I was like, "Hey, man, I saw your story. I really loved it. Can you give us what is the backstory behind Cashflow Tactics and what you've done with it, and what you guys hit a phenomenal number. I don't want to steal your thunder. Where were you when you met Bryan, and what's going on right now?
Yeah, Michael, that's great, man. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you just a little bit of the backstory to set some context on the amazing results that Bryan helped us accomplish. But here's the thing. So we came up we're in financial services, right? And this is our path. Now, we've always done things atypical, right? We're not your traditional financial advisors that, you tell us what you want and we're going to give you a menu of options. We're very specific about what we do. But the reality for us was everything we did was one-on-one. Everything we did was over a kitchen table. Everything we did required you to refer a friend to me because I didn't know how to have one critical skill, which is the skill of marketing. After a couple of years of this, we decided, man, we've got to figure out how to drive leads. We hired a lot of local marketing agencies who gave us local marketing solutions, which really was just throwing money into a black hole, right? And one day, one of our friends who's a publisher over at Agora gave us .com secrets. We read .com secrets. Our mind opened up to the exact blueprint and path that we needed to follow. And so we went out from reading .com secrets. We went to Funnel Hacking Live 4 years ago, back in San Diego. And we saw what was possible with ClickFunnels and with marketing and creating a message and ultimately creating a movement, which is really what we aspired to do. But the reality of it was, as we dove in, we realized, man, it takes a massive set of skills to be able to take what's in this book and go out and create a movement. There are so many moving pieces. It's one thing to have a funnel. It's a completely different thing to have a system, to have a machine that you can put a message out into the marketplace and have a machine to funnel people through. And for about 2 years, we took things that Russell said, we took elements out of his book, and we applied them. And man, we had success, right? But everything was still one-on-one. Everything was still, how do we meet with more people? But we felt stuck. We weren't getting any closer to this idea of creating a movement. And so we decided to go all in. Last year, we decided to do something we've never done before. Up to this point, we had made, I've got a 2 comma club hanging here. It took us 3 years to earn this 2 comma club using .com secrets. But we went and we said, okay, no more are we going to hire, contractors and people that we have to tell them what to do, because honestly, we don't know what to do, right? We need to be led in this space. And we were referred by a mutual friend to Bryan. We went out to Funnel Hacking Live, or not Funnel Hacking Live. We went out to his day of clarity, and we went with our vision. We went with our vision of what we wanted to create. Bryan saw the vision, and he then frameworked out what it would take to create a system, a marketing system, a platform to be able to deliver on this mission. And when he presented it to us the next day, man, it was like the yellow brick road. Man, he gave us so step by step exactly what we needed to do. And that's probably why it's the golden ticket, right? He literally handed us the golden ticket and said, look, with my expertise, I can help you stand on stages. I can help you lead a movement. I can help you create what it is you want to create and stay in your lane of expertise. So for 3 months, we took everything down. And for 3 months, we built. And we launched in August of last year. No, I think it was July, because we wanted to do right around 4th of July. We missed that deadline, but we launched right at the end of July or August last year. And in 90 days, what took us 3 years to do, we did it in 90 days. We earned $1 million, and we well surpassed that.
Wow. I mean, I just got to I know there's more to the story.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's very inspiring. And I love how you talked about how you built and built and built. We have a saying in OMG, you build or you beg. We actually have a couple of OMGers that actually have build or beg tattoos.
Yeah.
And the thing is, nothing in life, you will never get anywhere without building something of real tremendous value. But I think that one of the things that you guys finally got to experience, I remember my very first business I made was a game store. And I remember I had this, it was about surrounding Magic the Gathering, because I was like a Magic the Gathering world champion, and that's why I made this store. And so I was teaching this little girl to play one day. And I was like, man, if I could just record this and put it online, because online was there and I was already doing internet marketing at the time. I was like, it would be such betterment, not just to me, but to you reach so many more people. And it wasn't, it was soon enough that dream became a reality. And I, came out with my first course and stuff like that. But what we do, so much of what's going on with the internet is recognize the value proposition. And one of the value propositions is the copy paste, the video, but where we don't lose, see, it's not to be confused with television commercials. Television commercials are still a direct response thing, very similar to a newspaper or a radio ad. They're not like this dynamic, interactive, exciting thing like, say, a webinar can be, or with this event that we have here. People can, during the webinar, ask, Bryan questions or ask me questions and get in the chat or whatever, so so you still have that intimacy of that kitchen table conversation. You still have the power of it really, but really you're amplifying it, and you built super hard for those first months. But, so what happened in that 90 days of madness where you guys made $1 million?
So even before we made that $1 million, I'll tell you what, man, what Bryan helped us do is Bryan helped us put the system together from front to back, all of the pieces, because honestly, what stood in our way was us, right? We would try one piece and we would have a little bit of success, and then we would get stuck. We'd have one more piece and a little bit of success and get stuck. We shut everything down and we put the system together from front to back, from perfect webinar to optimization funnels to follow-up sequences to a membership site to a value ladder, everything. We did everything. And man, it was massive work. It took tons of time, but it was a manifestation of what we always had inside of us. We just needed someone who could see the path to framing it out, from a marketing standpoint, and really helping us brand it in a way. Like so many people, when they talk to financial planners, it's spreadsheets, it's numbers, and that's kind of what we did. Russell helped us learn how to craft a message a little bit better, but Cashflow Tactics is a movement because it's not about a product. It's about an outcome. I mean, you can see behind me here, it's about empowering people in their financial plan to rise up. And just like you said, nothing of value comes for free. You have to work to get it. And same with your financial plan. You have to rise up and be empowered and be in control. And ultimately, then can you live free? But that's what Bryan helped us do. He helped us put a brand around a message that is, in most places, spreadsheets and numbers, and I'll do a little bit better than you, and my guy has this strategy. So that's what we created. We then launched what we've been dreaming of launching from the beginning, a webinar front-end funnel that brought people into, I mean, we went from talking to one person to talking to hundreds of people at a time.
Tell me about your very first webinar in
Oh
this
man, it was so scary.
Yeah. So, okay, let's start with registration. How did you get people onto the webinar?
So we had a lot of pent up kind of people following us over time. So it's kind of twofold, right? We had a lot of people that were waiting for us to do this thing. And so a lot of people were there just out of a warmish audience. And then we drove cold traffic. We put money towards ads. And the great part about this was that there's a science, and Russell always talked about it, but Bryan helped us perfect it in our business, where the science is for every dollar in marketing now, I know exactly what I'm going to get out from that. So once I'm profitable on the front end, I want to dump as many dollars into it as I can. Because if a dollar into marketing equals $2, $3, $4, $5 in sales on the back end, why on earth would I not do that? It's like having a money printing machine where every dollar in generates 4. Every dollar in generates
right, but it's not. And when we say it really is like a money making machine, once it's all lined up, that's the key. All the dots have to be connected, right? Because the thing is, if there's leaks in the bucket, it doesn't work. Like it doesn't work.
And it didn't work from the beginning. So we started our ad spend small.
Yeah. Tell me exactly. So your first webinar, how many people were registered for it? Do you remember?
And I don't even remember. Maybe a couple hundred, 200, 300, 400, something like that. But I remember a lot of this came from just built up people waiting for us to launch.
Right. Okay. And about how many people attended live? And then what was that first event like?
Yeah. So we had about 50 to 70 people live on that first webinar. I can go back and grab the stats how to go to webinar. But the reality of it was, man, for the first time, what we thought was a possibility, I saw it in action, and it opened up a new paradigm for us. We went from speaking to people one-on-one to speaking to people in a mass setting and custom framing the message that they were going to consume, delivered to an outcome. And then by the time they went through our entire sequence, which is what Bryan helped us build, they watched a webinar, they got dropped into a membership site. In the membership site, they had a whole progression sequence. So before they ever got to financial strategy, they were indoctrinated completely. So what I used to spend all of my time on the front end trying to convince people of, by the time they got to me, A, I was the authority. I didn't need to prove it to them. They'd already went through my funnel. B, they were all into the message. And C, I didn't have to prove anything to them. I just had to build their plan. I just had to put the pieces together for them. So it totally revolutionized.
And they had a better experience too. I mean, if I'm somebody and I need to get financial advice, I have to schedule a plan. I have to get with my girlfriend or my wife or whatever, have the house be clean. They're going to come over, be in my living room. What are they going to say? Are they going to leave if I don't like them? Like whatever. It's just, instead they get to like experience this live event, answering questions. They're on video. It's compelling. It's organized. It's crisp. And then it's carrying them into your members area. In your members area, they're getting all this multimedia experience. They're marinating. They're learning that they're a better customer for you.
Absolutely.
You're able to do a better job for them.
It's nuts. I'm telling you, man. What I used to have to do I used to spend 5, 6, 7 meetings on the front end to get the result and the outcome. I do that in one now, and it's because the system and automation is built all the way through that. So on the first webinar we had. I remember it was crazy because we had a family reunion that weekend, and I came down from the mountains to do this, to do the webinar. And it was like all this energy. We were jumping up and down, all excited. I stumbled all over myself. I barely said the right thing, but it worked. And the reason it worked, we had an expert that came in and we crafted a webinar with all of the right hooks, all of the right things. And all I had to do was stand and deliver. And I was nervous in the beginning, but it worked. We had people that bought, and it was so funny. Like when people buy, we call them out live when they buy. And the very first person that bought, the Jimmy, who's the third member of Cashflow Tactics, he's the webinar presenter with me. Like on the webinar, he said, "Oh my gosh, we had someone that bought."
But it's such a feeling, though. It's such a feeling, though, and that's when. Because one of the other things that people should know about, I was talking to my business partner Ty Lopez about this the other day, is that when something works online, that's the other thing, is it works.
Yeah.
Like when something works, it really is time, and it doesn't mean it's going to work forever. It doesn't mean the conditions won't change, but you got something.
Yeah.
And when you got something, all right, so you go from taking that, scaling it, obviously primarily with ads is not the only way that you could probably go so quickly. You get up to $1 million, but you guys actually didn't stop there. So now, where are you guys at today, and how'd you get there?
So so we launched in August, really launched in August, and we were committed. We did a webinar every single week through the holidays. Didn't matter. We did a webinar every single week up to present date. And after about 2 months, it was working. Like, it was working. We knew for every dollar we put in, what would come out on the back end. So at that point, we scaled our advertising, and like we spend more on advertising right now than we made in a year back in the day. I mean, that we spend massive on advertising, and because now on the back end, we know exactly what $1 in advertising equals in back end revenue. So we scaled up and through digital product, through masterminds, through implementation of our strategy, we just barely right before the 10X event, we were adding up our numbers because we hit our second 2 comma club, and we realized, man, we've got so much more that's come in. So we actually sat down and looked at everything, and we just hit 10 million.
Wow.
So it's February 8th right now. From August to February, we went from, we had success in the beginning, and we had the message in the beginning. We had already earned a 2 comma club. It took us years to do it. We earned the second 2 comma club in 90 days, and another 90 days on top of that, we're at 10 million.
Unbelievable. Well, I think that anybody sitting home watching this is going to just be unbelievably inspired, and also just grateful that you would take, you're not being paid to do this. You're coming out, out of your valuable time. You spent also quite a bit of time with me even before we did this to prepare and to help us, do a great job for people. Because of course, somebody sitting at home right now, they might actually have been in the position that you were in, 12 months ago or 24 months ago, or, even 3 years ago, before you got even started, really that much online. But you weren't that far. What's funny is you'd think to go from where you are to then 1 million, and then 1 million in 90 days, and then, and then 10 million. What are some things that you feel like helped you get started and get going? Just to kind of like wrap things up. And I'm sure that people really appreciate, your advice, and obviously you clearly endorse Bryan.
I think for Bryan, what really resonated with Bryan is we've always felt called to a very purpose-driven message around finance. I mean, when we first came into the inner circle with Russell Brunson, Russell said, you guys shouldn't do what you're doing. It's too hard, right? Just go sell something. And because we were committed to what we were committed to, we stayed in that space. Even though it wasn't easy, we stayed in that space. And so I think anyone out there, we feel like we're purpose-driven. And when we connected with Bryan, man, it was like a match made in heaven, because Bryan is massively purpose-driven. Like, his story of who he is and why he does what he does, his entire vision is empowering people that have a message and a mission inside of them to get results with technology. Because the biggest thing that we teach in finance is helping people use leverage. But yet in marketing, it's the exact same principle. You need to be able to use leverage. And Bryan was our leverage. Bryan was our leverage to get our mission and to get our message out there in a massive way. And Bryan has become and has built his expertise the same way we've built ours, by being committed, by constantly and steadily doing the work. Nothing happens overnight. And Bryan helped us get the success because we had prepared ourselves for years to be in front of Bryan. And Bryan had prepared himself for years to be in front of someone like us. And the two of it, because we were there and we prepared and committed, and it was a match made in heaven, and we had massive results.
It's absolutely awesome. Well, incredibly inspiring. On behalf of everyone watching this video, I want to thank you, for your valuable time and coming out, being so humble, and also making it real for people, helping them understand, that it is a lot of work. But obviously in your case, I think it'd be a waste of everyone's time for me to ask if it was worth it.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Michael. I mean, for me, I really feel like money is just a symbol of validation. All it is just a tool of validation to realize when I say we've made $10 million, it's the impact. Like, if you went into our Facebook group and our academy trainings and the impact that you're seeing, the only reason the money is there is because of the impact. And that's ultimately what, again, I just got to hand it off to Bryan. Bryan helped us create a space that we can make a massive impact. Rather than making an impact one-on-one, he brought leverage to marketing that allowed us to make massive impact for a massive amount of people.
I love it. Well, incredible. Like I said, tip of the hat. Congratulations to you. And I can't wait to see where you guys take things next. And I'm so excited for those joining with you that are having tremendous success. I was looking through some of the testimonials on your site, and it's inspiring. All right. Thanks so much, Ryan. All right. God bless.